Are you
The
depressed?
topic for today is mental health and feelings. Mind you, this is all personal opinion, and I would love to be stand corrected or get feedback on what I believe in terms of feelings and mental health type stuff. If this kind of topic bores you, obviously just swipe up or whatever the hell else. But I was just motivated or inspired to make this just based off of just an interaction that I had with someone just now, to which I was in a live on an app called Meet Me or Scout or whatever. Recently, I've been joining random lives of people on several different apps and stuff like that, and just introducing myself to meet new people. This guy was really cool, really attractive, and thought he had I don't know, thought we had a lot of similarities and whatnot. Well, I triggered him. But when don't I trigger people, to be quite frank? And I'm okay with that. But it seems as though people that have not mastered this part of their mental health, I suppose, get triggered by what I personally believe, having been through depression, suicidal tendencies, you know, just self-harm, anger, like all the the recipe of normal emotions that humans technically admit. However, from my understanding, the four emotions, the main emotions that humans emit, are happiness, joy, sadness, and anger. Everything else is just little off branches of those four. Like fear is an off branch of sadness and anger, but typically when someone's like crying, that's usually because you're sad, or if you're angry, it's really just another way of being sad. It's like sadness in disguise, I think. You can correct me if I'm wrong, please. But the statement that triggered him was he was exclaiming how he's been suicidal and da 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 da. I'm like, just stop. I've been there, done that, and the results are not, what you think is going to be your savior, essentially. Coming from someone that has attempted to jump off the Golden Gate Bridge, I've tried to hang myself, I've tried overdosing, I've tried it all, okay? Mind you, I have not had suicidal thoughts in ages, except for when I was heavily intoxicated with mycotoxins, aka black mold. And interesting fact about black mold is that it attaches to your central nervous system, thus causing fatigue, depression, other sort of unwanted feelings, typically that are not happy oriented. Back on topic, the statement in which triggered him was when I said depression is a choice, happiness is a choice, sadness, a choice. I have a few friends that really are just adamant on disagreeing with me because they've had depression since they were young, or they've had it since all their life, and da 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 da. I call that a crutch. Just because you've had depression all your life doesn't mean that you have to have it the rest of your life. But you having it, in my opinion, is you choosing to still have it. When you can literally just be a little bit delusional and wake up one morning when you're normally really depressed, look yourself in the mirror and just lie to yourself. Most people lie about anything. Might as well just lie to yourself about being happy, because eventually you will be happy. And I would know a thing or two about being delusional. I'm trans. For example, you can also be really, really upset and really, really angry. But if you simply just smile and hold that smile for at least a good minute, maybe 30 seconds, you'll begin to laugh out of nowhere or start giggling just a little bit. And if it doesn't work for you, then I'm not sure. I don't know what to tell you. But it works for me, and it usually puts me in a better mood. A lot of times in heat of the moments, though, when it's like there's high anger, high tension, and stuff like that, I kind of forget to take a step back and, do that. Because then all my feelings are kind of impulsive, and usually I'm not making the best decisions because it's all emotional based and I'm not thinking logically. But just like I believe depression is a choice, happiness is too. Happiness is a choice, not a result. Nothing will make you happy until you choose to be happy. No person will make you happy unless you decide to be happy. Your happiness will not come to you. It can only come from you. But you can switch that little quote up with everything else. Depression is a choice, not a result. Nothing will make you depressed until you choose to be depressed. No person will make you depressed unless you decide to be depressed. Your depression will not come to you. It can only come from you. Same thing with sadness. Sadness is a choice, not a result. Nothing will make you sad until you choose to be sad. No person will make you sad unless you decide to be sad. Your sadness will not come to you. It can only come from you. You know? And how is that a hard concept to get your damn head around? Because that is a definite true belief in what I believe to the core, and what has taken me so long to kind of realize. Because I used to live my life being depressed, constantly wallowing in self-pity, just getting nowhere with my mental health and stuff like that, because misery loves company. Negativity just promotes more negativity and stuff like that, and that feeling of negativity, you feel comfortable in it. So when I triggered this person who kicked me out of their life, I appreciate him because it inspired me to make this post. But I don't wake up every morning like, depressed. If I do, then well, I guess that's what I gotta feel today. I'm choosing to be depressed, but I know that at the end of the day, probably I'm gonna get over it. I'm gonna get through it. I'm gonna overcome it. You know what I mean? But to be so weak-minded and you know allow that depression to really just settle in, it's just so depressing, to be honest. It's very depressing to acknowledge that in people, but I understand at the end of the day that they need to learn what I've learned on their own accord. I can only show them the way to the water, but not make them drink. You know what I mean? Another thing that was actually really interesting in terms of them trying to explain their side of what they believe in terms of what has been their reality, which I'm never going to deny someone their reality. What is your reality is your reality, and that is your truth, just like anything else, you know? No one can deny you your truth when it's your truth. People can deny it because of whatever, but, you're entitled to believe whatever you want to believe, you know what I mean? He went on to use examples of when like no one really had his back. He doesn't have family, all the reasons why he's depressed and whatnot, which I can relate to completely. I'm not going to go down my little list of what I'm relating to him, but I have my own laundry list and dirty laundry just as anyone else, But he was using those reasons as things to validate his depression, which just coincides with my belief in terms of, well, you're just using it, like finding ways to excuse why you feel like shit and stuff like that, when you can literally just tell yourself you don't feel like shit and you won't feel like shit. I understand that, like, it sounds a little ridiculous to, I mean, if you have a stomach ache and stuff like that, I don't have a stomach ache. Yeah, obviously the stomach ache is still going to happen, whatever, take some Pepto-Bismol, whatever, I don't know. The biological aspect of like digesting food and whatever, indigestion is completely different when it comes to just mental health and stuff like that. But he went to say on that he can't. I can't. Well, that's your first problem, is you believing that you can't. When you tell yourself you can't, then you can't. That's literally simple as that. Someone say, oh, well, I can't fly. Oh, I mean, the Wright brothers kind of did something. They flew, you know what I mean? I can't physically fly. I don't know what to tell you about that. I'm sure there's like little hocus pocus books that are banned from the Bible and whatever. But when someone says that they can't, then they can't, and that's their truth. You're entitled to that. But if that's your belief in terms of, oh, I can't not be depressed, well, that sucks. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry because it's not my issue. But like, you can, you just don't believe it, And that's where my little triggering comment of the weak-mindedness and stuff like that. It's not that he's unable to have a strong mind. He has the potential to have a stronger mind. He just has a weak mind currently because of the fact that he just allows these negatives to proceed and basically dictate his life and whatnot. So it's crazy because I just met the guy, but at the end of the day, still I appreciate him because again, made me kind of inspired me to make this post. If this helps anybody, this doesn't help anybody, then whatever. But I would love your feedback on what I believe in terms of my sort of truth and reality, I suppose. It's worked for me. I mean, trust me, I've been through hell and back just like anyone else. I've just seen the quote unquote hell a couple of times, and it's only hell because it's a belief that it's hell. But they're really just opportunities for growth and learning in a weird way. But anyways, I love your feedback. Have a lovely day. Bye.